Hey dudes, welcome back to another episode of our Rhomas Men's Team podcast. You are about to listen to one of our prior team meetings. If you ever want to join one of our live sessions that we have every Monday and Friday, head over to rhomas.com. That's RHOMAS.com, and put your email in and we will send you a live link every time we record. We generally record on Mondays and Fridays. So if you ever want to be on the actual podcast, like we bring men up all the time to talk about their goals, talk about their obstacles, etc., head over to rhomas.com. And then also, if you want to help support the channel grow and also have access to exclusive content, book reviews, extra whiteboard sessions, etc., and some coaching sessions, head over to patreon.com and support us. We would love it. But if not, no biggie. We'll see you on the live sessions. Later, dudes. Enjoy this podcast.
Good morning, dude. We are live, and we have some fallen soldiers, understandably. Some people have fallen. I mean, it is a day. It's the observed holiday. So today I figured I would toss a link up just in case, we don't have to go crazy, but I figured some people might want to just jump on, say what's up, see what's going on.
Yeah. Like I said, I almost know. I no-showed the scorecard team this morning because in my dream state, I was thinking this was Sunday. So luckily woke up just in time for our cast, man.
Hell yeah. Dude, what's going on?
Well, I'm sitting in the car, and just in case anybody ever has back problems, this massager, I don't know why I've never talked about it before, but I got this massager off of Amazon. This has been a lifesaver for me for the last year.
What's it plug into your car later?
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta get that, man. My back is fucked.
Dude, it is not to derail us, but I'm telling you, it's one of the best pieces of equipment I've ever purchased because just get every commute, right? You get a 20-minute, 30-minute, 10-minute massage. It's fucking phenomenal.
That's pretty tight.
Yeah, I'm serious. This has helped my back unbelievably.
Yeah.
And it costs, I don't know, $30-$40.
Yeah, I gotta get that. I need
Amazon.
that. Any given day, dude, my neck, I can have 30% mobility. Right now I'm doing pretty good, but my neck and upper back are just trash.
Yeah. Well, it's funny you say that because that's originally why I got it. I couldn't move my neck like this without pretty, not extreme pain, but enough to make me not want to move my neck.
Yeah.
Got this. It cleared it all up within a week.
Damn.
Yep.
I might get that afterwards. Well, dude, does anyone have any sort of thing, anything to report, anything to bring to the table in any way? Just throwing it out there. You don't have to. Very well.
Yeah. And for the guys, so right now I am faced with an opportunity to go and develop more of a deeper market in one of our through one of our business channels, and it puts me in this decision tree of, okay, if I do this, my life, my daily activities will change, probably 2 hours a day. And if I don't do it, I get to keep my life exactly the way it is, which I love it. I go to the gym in the morning, I do all this stuff. So this would have to flip my schedule to the point where, for those 2 hours a day, I'd likely have to interrupt my morning gym routine. And this is a very real decision, right? It's money, get to make potentially dramatically more money, potentially. Or do I keep my life the way it is? And I'm just throwing it out there in case anybody is going through a similar type of opportunity / question. So
that's a good question. Well, it's funny. I'm actually dealing with not the same thing, but something similar. But is there a way to? Would you have to do every single day, or would you be able to shrink? Would you be able to do kind of a half and half, where you maybe go to the gym for a little less time? Can you split it at all, or is it kind of an all or nothing thing?
Oh, that's a good question. So at the core of it is I'll have a team under me doing this one particular thing, and probably halving it probably would not be ideal, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Yeah, well, here's the other question. How long would you have to sacrifice your kind of like idealized schedule for before you could go back to it, if that makes sense?
Probably 6 months to 2 years. Yeah.
Well, it's funny because I'm dealing with not the same thing. My thing's still a little more flexible, but I'm going to start, I decided, I think I talked about this before, I'm going to start kind of giving stand-up a lot more effort and time, which I've given it none at all, or very little, I would say. So, but yeah, same thing. It's like I have to kind of, if I'm going to, like in my head, I'm like, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it properly and like actually do it and like, you know, make sure I have like all my stuff memorized, be like constantly turning out new stuff, you know, as hard as, at least try to as much as I can. So it's a similar thing this week, just all stand-up. That's all I'm doing. It's like, you know, I have a bunch of projects I'm doing, but I'm going to try to start prioritizing where it's like, well, you know, I could most likely set myself up the most doing stand-up, or it would be like a really good thing to add, you know, the way I'm doing it. So I'm like, let me try to actually do it and put the time in and, you know, kind of sip from the bitter brew of realizing I can't have my days as much as I want them. But it's like, for me, like you were saying, I can kind of still do like a half and half. But yeah, I don't know. I'm wondering, so if you start to do it and stop, 'cause I'd imagine there's some sort of investment to like starting and stopping it.
Yeah, well, I've kind of already done the investment. So I did a testing period. So the data is there. So yeah, now it's just a matter of pulling the trigger.
Yeah. I don't know, but to be honest, I'm kind of leaning towards like go for it, and then see if there's ways to like rearrange or kind of like maximize other parts of the schedule.
Right. Yeah. I'm leaning towards it as well because it is something that could definitely help me reach my financial goal for the year. But it's, you know, it's just one of those things. I'm sure a lot of guys deal with it, right? It's like, well, if you have this goal, you're probably going to it's very likely you're going to have to do something different. It's that whole quote of like, what got you here won't get you there, right? So you got to change it up a little bit, you know, but then at the end of the day, I think there's that other quote or that other like sort of like a story where the fisherman is talking to this like business guy, and the business guy was like, oh, I wish I could do what you do every day. And basically the gist of the story is the fisherman says like, why the hell don't you? You already have the resources to do it, but you're waiting. What, are you going to work for the next 30 years to go and do what I'm doing now? Like you could have had it 10 years ago, you know? So it's very, that's kind of where I'm in between.
Yeah, no, that's tough. So what would the schedule be looking like realistically if you were to do that?
I mean, probably I would say up at 5:30, 6 a.m. I'd be able to get some stuff done, do the scorecard meeting, then do, you know, this work project, you know, and then do my standard stuff like and then on Mondays and Fridays do the podcast. Like that would probably be something like the schedule. The biggest thing is just the gym. Like I'd likely have to change the gym. Yeah. So that's where it gets a little tricky. I mean, maybe not. I could wake up a little earlier. But waking up, like when I wake up at 4:45 or 5, I'm totally down to do like gladiator style, like for the competition. But the problem is it takes away my energy, right? Like then I notice in the middle of the day, like I'm not as powerful as I was before. So I don't know that the trade-off is worth it.
Right. Yeah, man, that's tough. I'll be curious what people think. And also too, it's like, I do like to me, I get excited when like things get switched up like that. I'm like, oh, a new thing. And I kind of like that. But yeah, like you're saying, you have to be thinking about the sustainability of it from like your personal standpoint. You know, you start to realize like, you know, is it worth it? How will that benefit my life versus like the things that I have going on now? Yeah, no, I'd be curious. What's the time? How long? You did say that 6 months to 2 years. Yeah. Yeah, man, that's tough. That's a tough call.
Yeah. So I'm very like my normal reaction to this is like, yeah, I'll fucking do it. Like I don't care. I'll wake up at 2 a.m. I'll do whatever. Like, but in light of like wanting to share things with the group, and if you're going through similar questions, I wanted to bring this to the table. Plus, I want to kind of mature my own thinking. Hey, maybe don't just say like, you'll burn everything down for an opportunity, despite what it does to your relationships, friendships, family, like all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
So I'm just trying to think out loud. I am very, very likely. Actually, I'm not even that. I'm going to do it. Like there's, but it does help me think a little bit. And Matt, what you're saying, like, could I split it? Maybe I could alter something, 1 or 2 days a week, push it back an hour or something like that. So there's also something to managing by numbers instead of managing by perception. And this is what we talked about a couple weeks ago, of like being in the results-based economy versus the time-based economy. Yes, in absence of solid metrics and numbers, it is very important, in my opinion, to be the guy who shows up early and leaves late, even if you don't produce any more work, right? That just the optics of that will automatically give you value, because the people who are judging you, your boss, managers, etc., they're using very fuzzy metrics to begin with. So like those can override their very fuzzy metrics. However, I could force myself and the team to be like, okay, well, it doesn't matter what time we start or finish. It's as long as the numbers get executed. And that would be on me. So it was helpful, Matt, to hear you say some of that stuff, because maybe I'll start to think in that direction.
Yeah, I'd be curious, if you can use a little bit of creativity to try to like have, kind of have your cake and eat it too, respectively, in terms of like, maybe I can do this thing in a way where it doesn't completely consume my schedule in a disastrous way. If there is like almost, like you were saying, you want to mature your thinking, and now you have a different kind of dynamic to bring to like, the table in terms of like, let's figure out how we're going to do this, and like, how we're going to set this up, and like, what we're doing this for. I think it's kind of cool. Like you were saying, usually it's just like, yes, let's do it, like burn it all down, but like trying to bring more of a sustainable approach to this kind of thing, and how that would look like for the other people you're doing it with. Yeah.
Because part of me wants to say, well, I don't have kids yet, but one day I will. So should I be testing that like timetable environment, like act as if I have a kid today, try to fit the gym in this, try to fit my work schedule in this, and so on. But then the other part of me says, fuck that, I don't have kids right now,
Yeah.
Right? Like why make hay while the sun shines? I trust in my ability to adapt when that thing makes me adapt.
Sure.
But right now, why do I need to test that? So that's always kind of the purgatory that I land in.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, like I said, I think it'll be like, I guess you can't, like if once you commit to it, you're locked in, you can't do it for like 3 months and be like, hey guys, I'm good.
I mean, technically I could, but I don't want to be a flake in my industry,
Right,
like that's
absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, but still, it's not like there's a gun in my head saying, well, you have to do this for that 6 months or 2 years. I would prefer not to, but we'll see.
Not bad. Well, even so, I mean, there's also, I would guess there's the possibility of kind of replacing as many of those tasks that you're doing for that out as it goes on.
Yes. Yep.
So
yeah, there is a potential for delegation and just more efficiency and so on. Definitely.
You might have to go full Ocean's 11 bad guy and just be like fencing with like a Bluetooth and be like, sell it, and fucking like bring him by 11 o'clock.
That's exactly right. Cool.
But yeah,
well, thanks. That helps talking through it. I'm sure some other guys listening to this will can relate to it to a certain degree.
Yeah. I feel like as long as you have it on your mind that you need to keep your schedule, and like, I think you showed me this, to be honest, of like just have it in your awareness that like I need to be done everything by 5 p.m. I'm not doing anything after this, and like I feel like when you do that, a lot of times these things will kind of sort of like the schedule will rearrange itself in weird ways, and you'll be used to it before you know it.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I was going to call you last week and just tell you like how much I love my schedule. Like I love my schedule. Yeah. I love waking up at 6 a.m., getting a whole bunch of stuff done, like for myself and with the scorecard team, hitting the gym, and then I get my iced tea at the gym. I bought this like tumbler that gets me free iced tea every single day. I paid $30 for it. I'm already well in the profit zone for that because I get 2 iced teas a day, and it's fucking phenomenal. I just love it. Like yeah. I think to myself, like, this is what life is supposed to be like. where everything is fluid, and I love every single part of it. Then I get to go into the office, I get to execute some stuff, I get to be creative, I get to do all that stuff, and then finish at a reasonable time, go back. Yeah, I just like it's like this is what I was fucking working for. All the like the 100-hour work weeks I was working on Wall Street, like all that kind of stuff. It's now, and I'm so fortunate and blessed to be able to do that at the age of 35, not 65.
Yeah.
You know, and then now it's like, okay, well, how about this little opportunity? Let's see how much you're committed to this new schedule that you have, or you know, do you want to get your grubby little fingers on some more dollars? And you know.
Yeah, I mean, again, the way I always look at it is like with the money stuff, I always imagine myself buying freedom at the end of it. So if you can use it to like really set up an even sweeter schedule in a couple of years, that will like that won't be interrupted, I guess, and like it's not a bad idea. Because I know what you're saying. It comes to a point where it's like, you know, when is enough, and at what point am I just like arbitrarily stacking Mario coins versus like living an enriched life and blah 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 blah. So
yeah, I would like that answer. Like, philosophically, could I say, like, yeah, totally. I want there to be more of a cushion, though, between that answer, if that makes sense.
Sure.
You know, so, yeah. So, I appreciate you saying that. I do think, you know, it's not like I could just sail off into the sunset for the rest of my life.
Exactly.
You know, if I quit. But I don't want to quit everything. You know, I have no intention. And that's where my brain gets back to. It's like, you got the perfect fucking schedule. Like, you get to work exactly how much you want. You get to work out exactly how much you want. You get to wake up when you want. You know, you get to hang out with dudes. Yeah, it's awesome. So
yeah, man, that's a tough question. Again, it's you know, it's funny as you get older, maybe you'll be like, no, but I think that's a good distinction. It's like you're comfortable, but you don't feel like you're obviously set for life at this point. So it's like, you know, you got to dig the hoe out of the shed and start tilling soil again. You had a nice little run, and now it's back to back to the grind.
Yeah, and I like the fucking, like, I like that part.
Sure.
So we'll see. Maybe it'll just take me some time to adapt, but I'm looking for, regardless, whatever, you know, I will be moving forward with it, so I'm very much looking forward to it.
Nice, man. Hell yeah.
Cool, man.
But no, that's an important point, man. Same thing, man. I had a similar thing. I have to. I'm going to start making kind of somewhat of a push for stand-up. I still kind of want to do it. Like, I want to do it where it's like, it makes sense for me. It's not like an all-consuming thing, but like still do it more and start kind of like pushing that a little bit, where before I was just like, whatever. I don't know if I even want to do this. And now I'm like, well, yeah, let's do that. So that'll be interesting to see how that works out.
Oh yeah. And what was Jordan saying? I just saw some comments. Hey, kind of go. Oh, I thought he was saying he was gonna do stand up.
He just wants to check it out. That's what everyone says. I'm gonna check it out. I'm not gonna do it. And you watch it and you go, I'm better than these guys. And the next thing you know, you're doing fucking stand up. So careful.
yeah. That's how I got into the bodybuilding competitions. Yeah, I think it brings up an interesting topic. I think oftentimes we see these things, expressions of other human beings, and oftentimes because they're on TV or something like that, we think it's this unreachable thing, and they're just somehow magical humans that have been gifted naturally to do this. Dude, it's, I don't know, like for me in my robot brain, everything just comes down to like some version of a mathematical formula. It's like, no, Wes is able to do this because of the inputs. Matt is able to do this because of the inputs over time. It doesn't, like, insert whoever else. The only time where it gets a little fuzzy is when like people reference like, you know, people who are 7 feet tall playing in the NBA. Like, that's a little bit different because, you know, there are some physical limitations, but then you always have exceptions to those rules. Muggsy Bogues, people, you know, who are 5'0", 5'3" playing. But yeah, man, everything to me just comes back to a formula. And it's like, if you want to fucking try something, go and do the inputs, and you will get very similar, if not the same or a better results if you do it enough times.
Yeah, I agree. I like the saying of like, let experience kind of be the judge rather than just being like you were saying, oh, you know, I'm not kind of like, I'm super introverted. I still to this day, if I have to speak publicly, I'm like, ugh, you know, and I can still do stand up just because, like you were saying, Wes, I've done that specific thing so many times. You're like, I know I can do this. But it's like, yeah, I would tell everyone, if there's something you're thinking you'd want to even try to do, it's like, just do it, dude. It's like everyone thinks like if they try something, then all of a sudden they need to dedicate the rest of their lives to becoming like the best ever at it. It's like, if that's the case, cool. But also just try different shit. It's cool. It's fun. You kind of expands your horizons, and it's pretty tight.
Yeah, there's something to be said for tinkering and dabbling. I think our society tends to downgrade, right, like that. But if you have a baseline of where you're producing income and you can afford to dabble on the side, I think dabbling on the side is a brilliant move. Like constantly taste testing life and just seeing where the next rabbit hole will lead you, as long as you're not being dumb about it. Mm-hmm. Right? As long as you're not dabbling in perpetuity at the expense of your mortgage, right? Or dabbling in perpetuity at the expense of feeding your child. Like I personally think one of the best ways to go about a career is have a baseline level of income and then do side projects all the time.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's why teachers have a phenomenal opportunity where you work Monday through Friday. I know somebody would probably kill me for saying this, but the teachers that I know don't even work for 8 hours a day. Yeah. Now they might be in school for 8 hours a day, but they have like a 2-hour time block, a free period, it's called. I don't understand that at all. It's like prep for the next day's classes, all that kind of stuff. So they barely work for 8 hours a day, the ones that I know. And then you got off weekends and nights and holidays and summer, right? Like that is prime for side projects. I think everybody now, especially with the internet, should be doing side projects.
Yep. I've seriously considered it so many times. I'm like, summer's off.
Oh, teaching?
I would just write books all summer. Oh my God. But it's like maybe one day, but it's like I've heard people get burnt out teaching because it's like the administration's so annoying. They're just like, here's a manual, don't deviate outside of this. But like you're saying, Wes, it's like, all right, well, if you need a job and you need some wiggle room, there definitely is one. There's definitely one of them.
Oh yeah.
If you want the benefits, and all
without
that shit.
a doubt.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I've got a buddy right now doing it. He's doing side projects, and it's phenomenal for him. And then he teaches at a public school, so as you get more and more credentials, like you automatically bump up your income, regardless of performance, which is fucking crazy to me. However, it just is what it is. So he's got all of his credentials, so he's already bumped up his income tremendously from when he started. And then he does side projects, so whatever money he makes from the side projects is all gravy. Plus, simultaneously, he gets to build up his retirement, because teachers' retirement pensions, et cetera, are phenomenal.
Yep.
Right? It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, man. Again, there's so many ways to, like, if you just put a little bit of out of the box thinking, man, there's so many ways to kind of do it and set yourself up. But I think the main thing is like being able to get over that little, like, I don't know, is this weird? Can I do this? It's like, just try it, dude. You'd be surprised. You'd be so surprised how much wiggle room you can get in places and things like that. Especially especially if you're a teacher, it's like, you feel out your class, you kind of a little quid pro quo, like, hey, I'm not going to break your guys' balls, but like, don't expect a ton of shit from me either. Like, I'll give you the fucking answers. Depending on the class. If it's something, extraneous, just hit them with it. Like, you guys might want to underline that. That's important. You might see that on the test. They're the heroes, dude. Those teachers are the heroes.
They are.
Underline that. Heroes. Yeah, it's like, I read you loud and clear, brother. But yeah, man, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to. I'm gonna be pushed out of my little comfort. I'm in a nice little comfort zone right now, so I'm gonna. Again, that's the same thing with me. Doing the stand up, pushing myself outside my comfort zone. Again, I'm comfortable doing stand up. I've done it for a long time, but it's like, can I start doing the 45, 50 minute, headlining sets? That's what I'm gonna start gunning towards. So it's like, that'll be interesting.
And what is the catalyst for you making this decision or being confronted with this decision?
To be honest, a lot of it is just I've been talking to Shane, and he's been kind of pushing me like, dude, like, there's no reason not to. You should be doing this, blah, blah, blah. And then I start, that's one input. I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. And then I'm thinking of my reasons not to, and they're all just kind of like, well, I don't know. A lot of the thinking not to do it is just me kind of downplaying myself. And it's like, well, I could just do that. And it's like, you know what, dude, that'd be cool. Because it would be nice if I could go do like a show or two a month. Even if I did a show every 4 months, you just make substantially more money. If you're headlining, you make a ton of more money. And then, that could start buying up a little more freedom. And like you were saying, my thinking of like, I feel comfortable right now, but I'm by no means like set for life. So I'm going to just try to kind of speed that process up where I feel really comfortable. My super end goal is like have a couple acres and be kind of style. Yeah, a little compound style, and just be writing, writing during the day, doing some sort of like, if I can be doing a little bit of psychology work. I just want to be writing, speaking, and kind of gardening for like my final years. So I want to set myself up so I can do that without constantly stressing. So I feel like this will be a nice, spend these next few years, especially in my 30s at least, doing that, and then see where I'm at from there. Maybe if I like it a lot, I'll keep doing it. If I'm like, yeah, I'm cool on this, I'll kind of fade to the back and do my other stuff.
Hell yeah, man. Cool. Well, I think you're going to fucking crush it. It'll be cool to see what happens.
It'll be fun. So I have dreams all the time of like doing stand-up, forgetting all my material, and I'm like, so I'm going to start, like, I've never put any effort into like trying to like develop material and memorize stuff. So I'm going to like really actually do that just so I can be sharp.
Yeah. I wonder what it would look like, because I would argue, from at least what I know of you, you've made so much progress in the last X amount of time from the last time when you really like stepped into stand-up. How much of those skill sets now can reinforce and enhance your ability to do stand-up? It's got to be tremendous.
That's what I'm curious about. I was totally undisciplined, and like across all domains, and now it's like, yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, Wes. It's like, I was kind of flying by the seat of my pants, and I was doing all right. I'm not like the best person in the world with stand-up, obviously, but I was good enough for like the amount of work I put in. I was pretty decent. So yeah, if I just like knew what I was going to talk, obviously I always had a set list and stuff, but it was just like I spent a lot of time being like trying to think of what I'm about to say. So it's always nice when you have that down pat. You can kind of fuck around and do stuff because you know where you're going next. So
right,
that's gonna be the thing, man. That between that, dude, and again, I can't talk about this enough, man. This book, I've been reading this more and taking more notes. Dude, I've been taking notes, man. It's just like it breaks everything down in these little brains, like these little it helps you organize your thinking in a way that's so good. And then once you organize your thinking, they give you these 6 things to do. It's mind control, body control, cessation of dependence, endurance and patience, confidence and faith, steadiness of life. And it's like I haven't read about them yet, but I'm just reading about the power of will right now, which they separate from thinking. And it's like I'm in no position to explain it right now, but it's pretty cool, man. They have, I think, some of the best mental models for interacting with your mind I've ever come across.
Dude, I can't wait until we're making high quality videos together, like doing that stuff, because that's the kind of stuff that the guys need to learn. That it requires more attention to detail than just like a casual conversation, because stuff is inevitably left out and slips through the cracks. I'm pumped to do that with you, man. Like I'm working on one for meditation, and I just need to get it over the line. But like the different types of meditation, the different methodology you could use, how it can fit into your life, like all those types of things. So. Yeah,
man, I'm telling you, this is every day I get like 10-15 minutes to go through this book and take notes, and I like reread I'll read a chapter and read it again because I'm like, I just want to see if I'm missing anything. I'm definitely going to write a book I'm going to research more of this stuff, but I'm going to write a book and try to simplify this stuff even more. But like just walking down the street today, I'm walking, I like get into these weird little kind of like fantasy arguments. I do this more than I even realize. I'm walking past someone, and like, I say good morning, they don't. The next 5 minutes would be me like, dude, I'd fucking, if they actually had a problem, I'd fucking put them in a fucking arm. The book's called The Glorious Presence. So as I'm thinking of something like that, my brain goes like, there's 2 filters. Is this let's call it permanent? And I'm going to kind of, I think, adapt it a little bit, but is like, does this have to do with like a permanent thing, or is this an impermanent thing? And obviously it's a daydream. I'm like, I can totally forget about that. And then more so than that, as soon as I'm having this thought, I'm getting these feelings, I go, oh, this is a daydream. I can completely just let this go. And I've been like, I haven't been like indulging in those kind of things as much and ramping myself up. It's really, really cool. Really cool. And it also talks about in terms of like how, so you have, you're kind of categorizing your thoughts, and you're doing that. And then all of a sudden you start to categorize the feelings you're getting that come with every thought. Cause if you're paying attention to your thoughts, with every thought is kind of set up around a thing you like or don't like. And if you like a thing, it produces a certain feeling. If you don't like it, it produces a certain feeling. But the coolest thing they talk about is recalibrating your likes, say like your wants and your aversions, back toward your kind of factory setting in line with like what's good for your body versus like what are things serving your kind of like self-concept in a way that's kind of destroying you on a basic level, if that makes sense. So it's like recalibrating your appetite around like, as simple as it is. are you actually hungry or you're just fucking eating shit for no reason? And like I'm constantly asking myself those questions and being like, dude, I was shameful last night when I did a 4th of July. I paid for it too. I had a bellyache. There's fireworks all last night. I just laid in bed like, oh, I was like, bah, 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 bah. But yeah, man, I mean, we're a work in progress, but I'm really gonna, now that I'm so weird. Now that I have these things like 6 steps, I'm like, oh hell yeah. I'm gonna now, just for body control, I haven't even read that one yet, but I'm going on the meat and veggies diet. I'm cutting out all the bullshit. I'm eating pretty good, but I need to go to the next level, dude. Yep. It's like, let's cut out all the fucking nonsense and, stop with the little treats in here and there.
Dude, it's so funny. Number one, I agree with all of what you just said. However, the funny part is, my buddy called me last week and he's like, you would love him. We'll all have to get together sometime. But he's all into this kind of stuff. Super successful guy, and does a lot of things not congruent with social context, just because it's like, oh, like I need to accomplish this, so I'm going to do this. So he's like, this dude punched me in the face last week. And I was like, dude punched you in the face? Yeah, and he's our age. He's like, yeah. He's like, fucking punched me in the face. I was like, when? He's like, well, it's fucking Tuesday. And I was like, why? He's like, because I was walking around with my shirt off out in front of my office. So I thought of you, because the examples that we talk about, like, who's going to fucking punch you in the face for walking your shirt off? That fucking guy's going to punch you in the face for walking around your shirt off. I thought of you instantly. I was like, yeah. Because we talk like, there is one guy who's one to do that, but the rest of the world doesn't fucking care. Every once in a while, you're going to come across an asshole who just gets like butthurt by something that you're doing that's just reflective of his inner mindset. But yeah, that's the one guy. Dude, I laughed my ass off when he told me that. It's so fucking funny.
That's so fucking hilarious. Did he just get snuck, or did the guy come up to him and was like, "Put it on"? And he was like, "No."
Yeah, apparently it was like some dude. He was kind of like part crazy or like maybe a little part drunk, but came up to him like, "Who the fuck do you think you are?" Like walking around with his shirt off, like in the middle of the day, and like I don't know. But anyway,
he was just inhabiting my daydream, and I'm like, and then I'll fucking headlock him, and I'll be like, "What? I have every right to do this."
Yeah, so fucking funny, man. Oh, dude, and he had no idea why I was laughing so hard about it, but it was just.
It's
the
so
irony,
funny.
You and I were talking about a few weeks prior.
Yeah, like nobody cares. Yeah, dude, that's too funny, man. But yeah, dude, I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, man, I'm excited to like have comprehensive notes taken, and I'll be able to give a little kind of run through of this whole entire system, kind of start to finish. But dude, it's been helping me big time. And it's so funny just to find a book for like $6 buried under some used bookstore and just look at it and be like, I'll take that. And you're like, oh man, I'd be furious if I didn't have this information the rest of my life. So
yeah, it's funny. I went a little Amazon researching last night. Every time I'm going to do like another batch of books, I go to Amazon, and then if you look on Amazon, you can start like researching topics. So let's just say for me, I want to look up persuasion. I want to look at more psychology books and so on. You can click on that book, and then you scroll down and you can see the list that it's put under. So when you basically pick the categories that you want the book to be put under, that's what the author can do. And they get, I believe, 3 categories. So you can scroll down and you can click and you can see where it lands in that particular category. So for instance, like one of the books that came up last night was The Body Keeps Score. Matt, I think you and I have talked about that in the past a couple of years ago. Phenomenal. It looks like a phenomenal book. I've never read it. 31,000 5-star reviews. It's number 1 in like, I forget what it is, like popular psychology, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, It's a good filter for finding books in areas. You can look at the list in those categories and find the top 3 to 4 books, 5 books in that category.
Yeah. Body Keeps the Score is fantastic, man. Really good book.
Yeah, dude, it's so rare to find 31,000 5-star reviews. It's so hard to find a 5-star review in general. Unless it's got like 3 reviews, that's a different story. But 31,000 is unreal.
I'm telling you, it's a really good one, man. It was a shame what happened to that guy. He was running a practice, and like someone he brought in like business partners on their practice, and he claims that they became motivated to like remove him away from it. So because he was like, he didn't want to do certain things because he didn't see them being super clinically applicable. But it was like, I think the business partner was like, well, we can make more money if we do it this way. And then they ran like a smear campaign against him that he was like, they basically tried to like Me Too him, but saying instead of like sexually harassing women, he would just be mean to them. He'd be like, come on, stop fucking up. And they're like, he was mean. And it was like, That's some bullshit.
Interesting.
Yeah, some motherfucking bullshit. But, I don't want to take it there. Every time I think of Bessel van der Kolk, Body Keeps the Score, I'm like, God, that fucked him up, man. That's bullshit.
Yeah, I got to read the book. There's another book called Cognitive Behavioral Therapy, 10 Simple Steps or something like that. That seems like unbelievably well-reviewed and positively. So I'll be taking on the next batch of books. But yeah, I want to kind of force myself to do these high-quality videos because I just haven't done one for the Rhomas team.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah.
Cool.
Well, dude.
What's up for the week, dude?
This week I'm just doing stand-up. I have today I'm going to spend like at least 2 hours, which will be time blocked, of just, and I've been doing this pretty good. I've been doing this almost like every other day where I like just write all my material down, look at it. If anything new comes up, I'll add that and shuffle it in. Today I'm just going to write down everything I plan to go over within that hour. I'm going to start doing that like 4 times a day, just spend like an hour just jotting it down to the point where it just gets like ingrained in my memory. But this week I'm going to Austin, so I'll be in Austin. So we're doing that. So I'll be doing stand up pretty much all week. So I have it tonight. I have 2 shows, Thursday 2 shows, Friday, Saturday, and then I will be after that. I'll be chilling. So
fucking right. Sounds good, buddy. And for me, I still got the 2 goals. I'm finishing up the finance video, finishing Rhomas University, and then hanging out with my mom. My mom's visiting this week, so
ooh, nice.
We're gonna have a fun time.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Cool. All right, dudes. Anything else, buddy?
That's it, dude. Have a good 5th.
Everybody have an awesome week.
Yeah, man. Later on.
All right. Later, pal. Later, guys.